Welcome back! Wait, do we actually need an intro? Well, the video title says it all, so maybe let's just start. The first game is called PROHIBEAST. You play as ELLIOT and the Untouchables, real historical figures, and you're dismantling Capone's criminal empire, also real. But in this version, the crime is selling steaks. The stealth mechanics apparently include smell as an actual enemy sense, meaning guards can sniff you out, which, when you're trying to sneak past a mob enforcer in a speakeasy butcher shop, is a sentence I never expect to write. But that said, I have a question. Historical accuracy questions, mostly. Specifically, the part where none of this happened. Capone dealt in alcohol. The actual prohibition banned liquor. There was no meat ban, ever, so this is full alternate history, which is fine, but the game presents real names, a real city, and a real investigator as if this all makes sense. That's a bold choice. So, the day after, completely different register. CALX is a sci-fi action-adventure set on a dead alien planet called Cyro. You explore ruins, fight things, double jump, grapple hook. You know the genre. What makes it stand out is the visual language, crystal structures, ancient technology, a kind of enormous empty silence. The developer describes it as a speck of dust in a vast, mysterious world. I find that phrase unexpectedly affecting. It's a strange thing to put in a store description. Most store descriptions try to make you feel powerful. This one tries to make you feel small. The companion character is named AFX. The art style looks like if someone painted a late-night dream about a Metroidvania. The combat is built around movement as much as weapons. Combat areas function like mobility puzzles, which is exactly the kind of design philosophy that sounds obvious when you say it and is actually very hard to execute. Also releasing June 4th, Swan Song, a music box puzzle game where you compose melodies to move a swan through levels while uncovering a story about grief and a family and a dead man's final creation. That game probably deserves its own video. It sounds quiet and specific and sad in a way that a lot of emotional games gesture at without landing. Maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't, we'll see. This one requires some history. Killer Bean is not a new IP. The original Killer Bean movie, a fully animated action film made by Jeff Liu, came out officially in 2009. Jeff Liu was a digital effects artist who had worked on major films, and he made this thing essentially alone. Over several years, it has a cult following. The game is described as a first and third person action roguelite. You play as Killer Bean, a rogue assassin coffee bean. That's the whole premise. The Shadow Agency, Evil Beans, procedurally generated islands, 4 biomes, ragdoll physics. There is a mode called The Party where you take down dance parties that disturb your sleep. It's in early access. So basically there's a previous game called There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension. It's a meta point and click where the game constantly insists it is not a game. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson appeared in that game as side characters. Crushed in Time is a spin-off built around those characters. They have to solve a mystery that somehow involves traveling through the stages of the game's own development. Meaning you're playing inside a video game, investigating the making of that video game, as Sherlock Holmes, who is a fictional character who was previously a background character in a different metagame. Kind of strange, but really interesting. I think I've already talked about this game in some of my previous videos, but here we are. You play as a chef, you cook food for adventurers. The adventurers go fight monsters. You do not fight monsters, you cook. That is the game. That is a perfect concept. There are flavor regions. Each adventurer comes from a different flavor region and has specific taste preferences. You have to match the food to the person to boost their stats before they go into combat. It's systems design disguised as recipe management, and I find it elegant in a way that is hard to fully explain. The mechanical loop is tight. Gather ingredients, cook, feed hero, hero goes and does the fighting you weren't built for, and repeat it. Also June 11 comes Starseeker, which is set in the Astroneer universe. Astroneer was released in full in 2019 after a successful early access run. This new game, Starseeker, focuses on cooperative expeditions from a space station. It's also coming out in early access. The Astroneer brand carries goodwill. That matters. A lot of co-op survival games die alone. Okay, so you're on a gravity-defying train. You're doing skateboard tricks on the train. The train is in Japan. You're fighting other trains. There are moving castles. There is apparently a mechanical war. The tone seems to be, what if Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was set in a fever dream about Japan's rail infrastructure, rebelling against a corporate villain? I don't have much to say about this one analytically. I just want it to be good. Sometimes a game just has the right kind of insane energy and you root for it. This is that. It's releasing June 70, and I hope the trick system feels as good as the screenshots look. There are a lot of gas station horror games. I'm going to say that plainly. Since Backrooms aesthetics and liminal spaces became a genre, developers have been making horror out of mundane service environments. Gas stations, parking garages, office buildings, motels. It's a real subgenre now. Shift at Midnight is a co-op horror for up to 3 players. You run a gas station. You check customers' IDs. Some customers are doppelgangers. If you miss one, it comes back later in the shift and tries to kill you. The thing that separates this from the pile is the management layer. You actually have to stock shelves, take deliveries, meet a sales quota. The horror is embedded in a job sim. You're not just wandering through a dark building looking for scares. You're doing work, real dull work, and the thing trying to kill you is hiding inside the ordinary rhythms of that work. It also has proximity chat, which in the right group of friends will make this game unplayable in the funnest possible way. This is the biggest game on the list by a significant margin. It's made by Square Enix, the same team behind Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default. Those are not small games. This is HD 2D, the visual style that blends pixel art with 3D environments and dramatic lighting. The story involves time travel across 4 historical ages, a cursed princess, 7 weapon types, and a fairy companion who does magic. There's a free demo available, and save data transfers to the full game. Now let's be honest, this game has the budget, the team, the IP recognition, and the marketing infrastructure of a mid to large studio release. It is not indie in the sense most of us use the word. It will sell regardless of what anyone says in a YouTube video. I'm including it because it's releasing in June and it's genuinely good looking. But I want to be clear, when I get personally invested in whether a game succeeds or fails, it's not this one. It has a floor that other games on this list don't. You're a fresh graduate. You just got rejected from a job after 15 rounds of interviews. They transfer you to work as an interviewer yourself. You review resumes. You reject people. The company operates in a city called Aeropolis. Workers from other regions flood in. Robots are taking jobs. You check internship certificates. You check emotional stability reports. You cannot use education as a started reason to reject someone, even if that's the real reason. And then you go home. You pay bills. You browse forums. You try to keep your mind stable. Pretty accurate for the world we're living in today. This game is about bureaucracy as violence, not in a dramatic way, in a quiet, repetitive, soul-crushing way. The cruelty is in the systems, not the characters. Nobody is twirling a mustache. The horror is that it all makes sense from inside the logic of the institution. That is a harder thing to build than a monster. I don't know how many people will play it, I don't know if it will sell, but it's doing something real. 10 rounds, looping office corridor, yellowed walls. You look for changes. You either report an anomaly or walk to the exit. Get it wrong and something happens. That's the game. And this game is extremely modest in scope. 1 corridor, 1 mechanic. But modest scope executed with confidence is often better than ambitious scope executed badly. I think about that a lot when I'm building something. How much is too much? When do you stop adding? The VHS camcorder filter and the position-based audio are doing real work here. The atmosphere is the game. The aliens made the ocean rise. You survive on the water's surface. You scavenge and build. Creatures move beneath you. there might be something down there that explains everything. It's a survival game with base building and wave defense, not a new genre. But the visual of building a home on open water above a drowned world, above something that wants to kill you, is strong, especially now that Subnautica 2 came out. So that's it. I didn't make an intro, so why make an outro? Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.